Get Emma out first, Mom screamed through the smoke. She's just a baby. What about Lucas? I choked out, crawling toward the stairs. He's trapped upstairs. We'll get him after, Dad shouted, already carrying my sister's daughter toward the door. After! I couldn't breathe. He's 7. He'll die. My parents saved my sister's kid while mine choked on smoke upstairs. Hi, I'm Sienna. Today I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. Let me paint you a picture of how things were before everything fell apart. I'm the older daughter, 32, divorced, raising my son Lucas on my own. My sister Melissa, 28, married to an investment banker, living the perfect suburban life with their 2-year-old Emma. Growing up, Melissa was always the golden child. I got pregnant at 24, married the father, and divorced him 3 years later when I caught him cheating. Melissa waited until after her fairy tale wedding to have Emma. Guess which daughter my parents approved of? Sienna, are you sure you can handle Thanksgiving this year? Mom asked over the phone that November. I mean, with work and Lucas and everything. Mom, I've hosted Thanksgiving for the past 3 years. I know, but Melissa mentioned she could do it. She has that beautiful new house with the chef's kitchen. My kitchen works just fine. Of course it does, sweetie. I just thought maybe you needed a break. Being a single mom is so hard. There it was, the pity, the subtle dig, the comparison to perfect Melissa with her perfect husband and perfect life. We're still coming to my place, Mom. I already bought everything. If you're sure. I was sure. What I didn't know was that this Thanksgiving would change everything. The morning started normally. Lucas helped me prep the turkey, dancing around the kitchen in his dinosaur apron. He was such a sweet kid, nothing like his deadbeat father. Smart, kind, always trying to help. Mom, can I make the special carrots? He asked, bouncing on his toes. Of course, buddy. You're my sous chef today. Yes, Grandma's gonna love them. My heart squeezed. Lucas adored his grandparents, even though they barely seemed to notice him next to precious Emma. The family arrived around 2. Melissa swept in with her usual fanfare, Emma on her hip, her husband Brad carrying enough designer diaper bags for triplets. Sienna? Oh, the house looks cozy. Melissa air-kissed me. Emma, say hi to Aunt Sienna. Emma buried her face in Melissa's shoulder. My parents followed, Mom immediately reaching for Emma. There's my precious grandbaby. Oh, you've gotten so big. Hi, Grandma. Lucas ran up, arms open for a hug. Oh, hi, Lucas. She gave him a quick pat before returning her attention to Emma. Melissa, is that a new dress? She looks like a princess. I watched Lucas's face fall slightly before he bounced back. Grandma, I helped make dinner. Wait till you try my carrots. That's nice, dear. Brad, can you help me with Emma's coat? Dad at least acknowledged Lucas properly. Hey there, champ. You helping your mom cook? Yeah, I'm the sous chef. Good man. Someone's got to keep her in line. Very funny, Dad. Dinner was the usual affair. Melissa dominated the conversation with stories about Emma's development, Brad's promotion, their upcoming vacation to Aspen. My parents hung on every word. Lucas got straight A's on his report card, I managed to interject. That's nice, Mom said absently, then turned back to Melissa. So Emma's already saying 3-word sentences? She's very advanced, Melissa preened. The pediatrician says she's in the 95th percentile for verbal skills. Lucas is reading at a 4th grade level, I tried again. Brad, could you pass the potatoes? After dinner, the kids played in the living room while we cleaned up. That's when I made my mistake. I put a batch of dinner rolls in the oven and got distracted by Melissa's latest drama about her nanny. I just don't understand why it's so hard to find good help, she complained, lounging at the kitchen table while I loaded the dishwasher. This is the 3rd one this year. Maybe your expectations are too high? Excuse me? I don't think wanting someone who speaks fluent English and has a degree in child development is too much to ask. Emma's too, Melissa. She doesn't need a PhD candidate to change her diapers. This is why you don't understand. When you have standards for your child's care, that's when we smelled it. Smoke. What's burning? Dad called from the living room. I ran to the oven. Black smoke poured out when I opened it. The rolls were charcoal, and worse, some had fallen onto the heating element. Get the fire extinguisher, I yelled, but the smoke was already billowing into the living room. The smoke alarm started shrieking, then another, and another, the house filled with smoke so fast it was surreal. Everyone out! Brad shouted. That's when everything went wrong. Get Emma out first! Mom screamed through the smoke. She's just a baby! What about Lucas? I choked out, crawling toward the stairs. He's trapped upstairs! We'll get him after! Dad shouted, already carrying my sister's daughter toward the door. After? I couldn't breathe. He's 7! He'll die! But they were already gone, rushing Emma to safety. I could hear Lucas coughing upstairs, calling for me. The smoke was so thick I could barely see. Lucas, I'm coming! I crawled up the stairs, my lungs burning. Found him in his room, terrified, crouched by his bed. Mom, come here, baby, we're getting out. I grabbed him, covered his face with my shirt, and somehow made it to his window. Thank God we'd practiced fire drills. I helped him onto the roof of the back porch, then out and down. By the time we reached the front yard, fire trucks were arriving. My family stood clustered around Melissa's car, fussing over Emma. When they saw us, there was a moment of relief? Guilt? I couldn't tell through my fury. Oh, good, you're okay, Mom said, not moving from Emma's side. No thanks to you, I exploded. You left my son to die. Sienna, don't be dramatic, Melissa said. The fire department was already coming. You saved Emma and left Lucas. She's a baby, Dad protested. She couldn't get out on her own. And Lucas could. He's 7. You were going for him. What if I hadn't been able to? What if the smoke got me? He would have died alone up there while you all stood out here with Emma. You're overreacting, Mom said coldly. Everyone's fine. Overreacting? You chose which grandchild deserved to live. The firefighters confirmed what I already knew. The actual fire was small, contained to the oven. The house was smoky, but not structurally dangerous. Yet my parents had grabbed Emma and run, leaving Lucas behind. Ma'am, is everyone accounted for? The fire chief asked. Yes, I said tightly. No thanks to some people. We couldn't stay in the house that night due to smoke damage. Melissa immediately offered to take Emma to a hotel. My parents agreed they should go too, to help with the baby. What about us? Lucas asked in a small voice. You'll be fine at a hotel, Mom said dismissively. You're a big boy. That was it, the final straw. You know what? Don't bother. Lucas and I don't need any of you. Sienna, you're being ridiculous. Am I, Dad? When was the last time you took Lucas to a ball game? When did you last babysit him? When have you ever put him first? Silence. That's what I thought. Come on, Lucas. We're going to a hotel, a nice one, with a pool. Really? His eyes lit up despite everything. Really? Just you and me, buddy? We stayed at the Marriott that night. I let Lucas order room service and jump on the beds, but I could see the hurt in his eyes, the questions he was too scared to ask. Mom, why didn't Grandma and Grandpa help me? I pulled him close. I don't know, baby, but I will always come for you. Always. I know. You're the best mom ever. And you're the best son ever. The next few days were eye-opening. I had the house professionally cleaned and stayed with my friend Tara. Not one of my family members called to check on Lucas. Not one. Melissa texted about getting her casserole dish back. Mom called to complain that I'd embarrassed them in front of the firefighters. Dad sent a text saying I should apologize for my hysterics. Are you kidding me? Tara said, reading the messages. They abandoned Lucas in a fire. They don't see it that way. To them, Emma matters more. She always has. That's sick. That's my family. I made a decision that week. No more. No more holidays where Lucas felt less than. No more birthdays where he watched Emma get showered with gifts while he got dollar store afterthoughts. No more. We're done, I told my therapist. I can't keep exposing Lucas to this. That's a big decision. Have you considered family counseling? With people who left my child in a burning building? No thanks. I sent a group text. After Thanksgiving, I've realized our family dynamic is toxic for Lucas. We won't be attending any more family gatherings. Please don't contact us unless you're ready to acknowledge what happened and genuinely apologize to Lucas. The responses were predictable. Mom, you're overreacting as usual. Dad, don't be childish, Sienna. Melissa, seriously, you're going to deprive Lucas of family over this? Brad, this seems extreme. I blocked them all. Christmas came and went. We spent it with Tara and her family, who treated Lucas like gold. He got to be the star, helping with cookies, opening presents, playing games. No competing with a golden child, no being ignored. This is the best Christmas ever, he told me that night. Really? Even without Grandma and Grandpa? He thought about it. They never really saw me anyway. My heart broke. 7 years old, and he'd already figured it out. January brought the flying monkeys. My Aunt Carol called, claiming she wanted to help heal the family. Sienna, your mother is devastated. She cries every day. She should have thought about that before abandoning my son in a fire. She didn't abandon him. She knew you'd get him. What if I hadn't? What if I'd been overcome by smoke? But you weren't. Not the point, Carol. They chose Emma. They've always chosen Emma and Melissa. I'm done being second place, and I won't let Lucas grow up feeling worthless. Family is family, Sienna. No, family protects each other. They left Lucas to potentially die. That's not family. She hung up on me. February was harder. Lucas's birthday. Usually my parents would at least send a card with a $20 bill. This year? Nothing. But you know who did show up? My ex-husband's parents. They'd always been kind, maintaining a relationship despite their son's failures. They brought presents, took us to dinner, treated Lucas like the treasure he was. Thank you, I told them tearfully. This means everything. We love Lucas, his other grandma said simply. That doesn't stop because our son is an idiot. Meanwhile, I heard through social media that Melissa was pregnant again. Another perfect baby for my parents to fawn over. The announcement post had hundreds of likes, my parents commenting about being blessed with another angel. Nothing for Lucas's birthday, but a huge social media celebration for an unborn baby. Block them, Tara advised. Stop torturing yourself. She was right. I blocked them all on social media too. Spring brought unexpected consequences for my family. Remember I mentioned Brad was an investment banker? Well, turns out he'd been playing fast and loose with some trades. The SEC came knocking. Within months, Brad was under investigation, their assets frozen, Melissa's perfect life crumbling. Karma, Tara said when we heard. I don't wish bad things on them, I said. And I didn't. But I also didn't feel sorry for them. Carol called again. Your sister needs you. She's losing everything. Where was she when Lucas needed her? Sienna, please. Your parents are already helping, but it's not enough. Brad might go to prison. Not my problem. How can you be so cold? Ask them how they could leave a 7-year-old in a fire. Here's the thing about boundaries. People hate them. Over the next few months, various relatives reached out, trying to guilt me into reconciling. The story was always twisted in the retelling. I was the dramatic one. I was holding a grudge. I was depriving Lucas of family. Never once did anyone acknowledge what they'd actually done. Summer arrived. Lucas thrived without the toxic comparisons. His confidence soared. He joined soccer, made friends, excelled in school. Turns out kids do better when they're not constantly reminded they're second best. We ran into my dad at the grocery store in July. He looked older, tired. Sienna, Lucas. He nodded awkwardly. Hi, Grandpa, Lucas said, still innocent enough to be happy to see him. Hey, buddy, you've gotten tall. I'm playing soccer now. I scored 3 goals last game. That's great. An uncomfortable silence. We should go, I said, steering Lucas away. Sienna, wait. Dad looked pained. Your mother, she misses you both. Does she miss Lucas? Or does she miss having someone to feel superior to? That's not fair, isn't it? When's Lucas's birthday, Dad? He looked blank. February 15th. When's Emma's? August 3rd, he said immediately. That's what I thought. Come on, Lucas. As we walked away, I heard him mutter, We made a mistake. Yeah, they did. The real bombshell came in September. Melissa called from a number I didn't recognize, sobbing, Sienna, please don't hang up, please. What do you want, Melissa? Brad's going to jail, 2 to 5 years. I'm losing the house. Mom and Dad reverse mortgaged theirs to pay for his lawyers. We have nothing. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you help? Just a loan? For Emma? You want me to give you money? after you helped save Emma while Lucas was trapped? I didn't. I was just protecting my baby. And I'm protecting mine from all of you. Sienna, please, I'm pregnant. I have nowhere to go. Maybe you should have thought about that before marrying a criminal. How can you be so heartless? Ask yourself how you could leave my son to die. She hung up. The family explosion was immediate. My phone rang nonstop. Texts poured in, emails, even letters. How dare I refuse to help my pregnant sister? How dare I turn my back on family? But here's what they didn't understand. They turned their backs first. Every time they favored Emma. Every time they dismissed Lucas. And ultimately, when they saved her and left him, I kept all their messages. The cruel ones, the manipulative ones, the ones trying to rewrite history. My lawyer said they'd be useful if anyone tried to claim grandparents' rights. They abandoned him in a fire, she said. No court would give them access after that. October brought news through the grapevine. Melissa had moved in with our parents, along with Emma and newborn Sophia. Their retirement was gone, spent on Brad's legal fees. Dad had to go back to work at 70. Mom watched the kids while Melissa worked retail, her first job ever. How the mighty have fallen, Tara observed. I don't take pleasure in it, I said honestly, but I don't feel guilty either. Good, you shouldn't. Lucas asked about them sometimes, less and less as months passed. He had new grandparents and his paternal grandparents, Tara's parents who'd adopted him, and even my elderly neighbor who taught him chess. People who chose him, valued him, put him first. Mom, remember when the house got smoky? He asked one night. Yeah, buddy. You came for me. Always, baby, always. Some kids at school said their parents would save their little siblings first, too, because babies can't save themselves. My heart clenched. What did you say? I said you'd save me no matter what, and that real families don't choose. You're absolutely right. He smiled and went back to his homework. My brilliant, resilient boy. The last contact came on Thanksgiving, exactly 1 year after the fire. A letter from my mother, forwarded through my lawyer. Sienna, this past year has been the hardest of our lives. We've lost everything. Our savings, our home, our family. Melissa struggles every day with 2 babies and no husband. Your father works himself to exhaustion. I watch the children and wonder how everything went so wrong. I've had time to think about that night, about the choice we made. You were right. We chose Emma. We've always chosen Melissa. I see that now. Lucas deserved better. You both did. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even expect a response. But I needed you to know that I understand now. When you have to choose between everything and nothing, you realize what matters. We chose wrong. I'm sorry. Your father is sorry. We failed Lucas and we failed you. Mom. I read it 3 times. Then I filed it away. Too little, too late. You could respond, my therapist suggested, for closure. I have closure. They made their choice. I made mine. Lucas is thriving. That's all that matters. And it was true. Lucas was happy, confident, loved. He had people who put him first, who'd run into a fire for him, who'd choose him every single time. The universe has a way of course correcting. My family had built their pyramid with Melissa and Emma at the top, everyone else beneath. When the foundation crumbled, Brad's crimes, their financial ruin, the whole thing collapsed. Meanwhile, I'd built something different. A chosen family. A circle of people who loved Lucas for Lucas, not in comparison to anyone else. No hierarchy, just love. So after watching my parents lose everything, their money, their home, their relationship with their grandchildren, all because they couldn't see past their favoritism, even in a life or death situation, I have to ask. Do you think they truly understand now that their choice to save one grandchild over another that night wasn't just about the fire, but about every choice they'd made that led to that moment?